It's ridiculous that people are playing Pokemon Go and driving. After all those, like, don't text and drive things. And it's just like, I'm not texting and driving, I'm Pokemon going and driving.
Catching Pokemon doesn't require much attention, does it?
Yeah, well...
Or is it the thing is where, like, you should be driving? If you're driving along and you're trying to
flick Pokeballs, I sometimes have to stop walking to do that.
And even then, you still have to pass your phone to me.
Yeah. Like, Nick, do this for me. I can't catch the fish.
Man. So funny.
He's getting away.
The fish is too quick.
Fish is too quick.
This land fish is too quick. Hey, welcome to Front Seat Gamer. This is episode 42. I'm Nick. I'm here with Saveun.
Hey, Nick.
And Blake.
Hi.
How are you guys going?
Good.
No one can see you nodding. Saveun is nodding on a podcast.
I'm good, thanks. Oh, man.
It's not a vodcast. Is that a thing still?
A vodcast?
Yeah. Video, I don't know. Whatever.
Like vaudeville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what vaudeville is? Because I actually don't think I know.
It was a type of entertainment.
Yes.
All I know is like pianos going ding 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 ding.
It was like a variety show sort of thing, I think, but
right.
like staged variety show, but and sort of like
before television.
The thing is, like when people say, "Oh, it's like vaudevillian comedy," I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure," but I actually don't know at all.
I think that's like real slapstick, right? Like that's the thing where the hook comes out from the side of the stage and like grabs someone off stage because they're being so terrible. Like okay. I'm sure that's a vaudeville thing.
All right. Well, you know what? After this, I'm going to Google it.
Like maybe Charlie Chaplin, right?
Man, we've gone way off topic already.
Vodcast.
What are you guys playing? Holy crap! I'll start off this week.
Cool.
I never start off. I've been playing a little bit of Clash Royale, a bit of Hearthstone, and that's about it. Well, doing a lot of work because.
What have you been working on?
Path of Exile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything in particular with that game?
Well, this morning, in our time, or several days ago, up to an infinite amount of time ago, depending on when you're listening to this, we announced Atlas of Worlds, which is the next Path of Exile expansion coming out in 3 weeks. There's a lot going into that, and there's a lot to do, and it's going to be really cool. So, pathofexile.com. Yeah. Read about it.
It sounds cool.
/ the Atlas of Worlds, maybe.
This expansion. What do we actually call these things? Like, are they expansions or are they like mini expansions or? Because they're not like the major expansions,
right?
Like it's not like an Act 4 type thing.
No, but
it's more than just like a little bit of DLC or something,
right? Yep.
It's more than just a league.
Yes. It comes with a league, so of course
it's more than just a league.
It's a league and a whole bunch of other content.
Yeah.
I don't quite. I mean, I think we sort of describe them as mini expansions. Yeah. But it's like it's misleading because there's actually a ton of content.
Yeah, it makes it sound small, but it's not. It's
oftentimes like a new act lasts. You can get through a new act in a couple hours, whereas you can't get through this content.
So it's bigger than an act.
It's such a deceiving thing because an act has like quests and new tiles and like a completely new art and like tons of assets and voice acting and all this new stuff. That is.
I mean, there's new voice acting in this.
Yeah.
So
I know.
And sort of new tiles. Sort of.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that in a bit. I think. So I'll talk a bit about Hearthstone because I think it was last night they also launched A Night in Karazhan, the first part.
Yep.
Of that new, what do they call them? Adventures? Adventures. And it's really, really, really good. This is the best one yet.
I was surprised by the like tone of it or theme of it.
So you watch the trailer, and the trailer is like basically welcome to this big house party.
Yeah,
I'm this wonderful host. But then you play the prologue, and you're playing as Medivh,
right?
And there's an unwanted guest, and he's
is that the
Prince,
player?
Malchezaar, who is in World of Warcraft. He's like the boss of the Karazhan raid. He's the final boss, and he's the unwanted guest.
And he's a demon, right?
He's an Eridar demon. So he's this huge towering dude, and he's like tossing giant rock demons on you and all sorts of stuff. And in this, he's the first encounter, and it's such a beautiful encounter because he starts off with more mana crystals than you, and his hero power just produces a 6/6 elemental every turn, or 6/6 golem, 6/6 demon thing, whatever it is, every turn. And
wow,
and you have some decent spells, and then you have a creature who every time you play a spell, it shuffles that spell back into your deck. And you've got spells that make all your spells free, and spells that add a bunch of mana crystals for that turn only. And the whole point of this is you sort of build up a deck cycle in the middle of playing it. It's such a beautifully designed encounter because it feels at the start like the odds are overwhelmingly against you, and you slowly piece together a strategy as you're playing, and then by the end, you've sort of mastered this encounter and beaten it.
And is this with a deck that you've never seen before?
Yeah, it's a custom deck, and you're playing as Medivh, and your hero power is you draw 3 cards, and so it's just a very clever opening encounter. And spoilers, you beat the demon, and you banish him to his dimension, and then he pulls you in as well.
Oh, right.
And so the whole storyline is Medivh has been taken from his party. You have to go and find him. And so the rest of the encounters are all we've got to find Medivh. Let's do these tasks.
Is it even in Karazhan then?
Yeah. You go through all these Karazhan encounters.
Oh,
so
okay.
The first wing has you fight I think it's called the Silverware Golem. So he's made of cups and plates and basically
awesome.
all his spells.
That's cool. I like that.
All his spells place plates or forks or knives or spoons, and are all cutlery themed.
That seems like such a fairy tale character as well.
It's great.
Yeah.
The next one, oh geez, I actually don't remember what the next one is, but the last one is chess.
Okay.
The Karazhan had a chess-based encounter.
Yeah.
And obviously you can't do 8x8 chess in a 2x7 card game. But the way they've done chess in this Karazhan thing is really clever. It feels very sort of strategic in a way I wasn't expecting. And the heroic version is very, very, very difficult. And I've tried it once, and it was too hard, and I haven't tried it since.
How much of this game have you played then? Because didn't it only just come out?
Yeah. So it was four little encounters came out yesterday, and then there'll be I think 3 over the next 3 each week for the next few weeks.
Yeah. Are you buying wings separate, or are you?
I bought them all at once because you get a discount.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wings. What?
So
hot wings.
Okay. We've got a sleepy Saveun today because we all went to breakfast. And Saveun had too much coffee, and for some reason his body works opposite to all other human bodies. And instead of getting all pepped up, he just gets nappy and grumpy.
Exactly.
I think it was the what was it called, hodgepodge or something?
The mishmash.
Yes, he got the mishmash, which looked delicious. Shout out to Federal Deli.
But what are these wings?
Okay, so wing basically, rather than release the expansion all at once, back when World of Warcraft, it still exists. World of Warcraft still has these raid encounters that are divided into wings. So if you ever did you play much World of Warcraft?
No, none.
Okay, so the very first ever raid encounter was Molten Core, and it would take 6 hours to do. If you're on a pretty good guild, the minimum it would take about 6 hours to do.
I went in there because it was it started off as a 40-man,
a
40-person, group dungeon.
Jeez.
And I went in there with a pickup group that I just saw a shout out for we're all doing this thing. Who wants to join us? And we all went there. And I spent probably 6 hours in there and didn't really get past the first, didn't get to the first boss.
Yeah, it can happen.
With 40 other people.
Yep.
Is that just a cluster effort?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, you can swear on this podcast. What?
Sorry, I'm a little nappy.
A cluster fart.
It is like a cluster fart.
Yeah.
But okay, wings.
So one of the solutions that Blizzard took. They also had like even the 5-man dungeons. They're like these 3-hour dungeons that are they're long, like arduous, and they're fun, but they you can only pay attention for so long, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Blizzard started taking more towards having the dungeons broken up into smaller sections.
Mm-hmm.
So like rather than having like 8 or 9 bosses in a sequence separated by trash monsters or whatever, like you'd do like 3 bosses, and then you'd get the key to the next wing, and you could go and do that wing whenever you want.
Right. I was thinking
it's more focused on session-based gameplay than like
mm-hmm.
Sit down. This is your day.
Gotcha.
And so they're sort of doing an analogy to this. Oh, and then they started releasing like wings and bosses for raids because guilds would blow through content too quickly, and so to prolong and to sort of also give more balance time to the design team, they would split these raid encounters up into wings. You get a few bosses, and then the next boss wouldn't be available for a week or two, and then they would release it. And so they're doing the same thing for Hearthstone. I think part of it is encouraging people logging in over a longer period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And in any sort of mobile game, that habit building is important. But also part of it is I think they look at how people are responding to the encounters, and they have a few days to tune appropriately.
Mm-hmm.
And if there are like teething problems, it gives them time to work them out. So with all the adventures modes so far, they release a wing a week, and there's usually 4 wings, maybe 5 sometimes.
Gotcha. I was fully thinking of like back attachments or things.
Right.
Oh,
we were thinking of bird wings.
Yeah, instead of like building wings.
Yeah, wings in a manner. Yeah. So that's what I'm talking about when I say wings.
Gotcha.
You can get a horse by for World of Warcraft by playing Hearthstone. That has
mount.
Wings.
Yeah,
a mount that has wings.
Yeah. So you get a part of that horse once per week, and then
Damn.
you start off with the front legs, head and tail.
Yep.
Then yeah. So I actually the Karazhan. I think my favorite thing about the Karazhan expansion so far is, you can play. There are multiple encounters where you can hand it over to someone who's never played Hearthstone before, and they'll pretty quickly, or they've played like a little bit, and they'll pretty quickly put together how it all works and have like a really fun time.
That's cool.
So the chess encounter, because like your deck is set, your opponent's deck is set, all of the rules are pretty clearly explained during the encounter and on the cards. I gave this to my girlfriend, and she said, "This is the most fun I've had playing Hearthstone ever."
Wow.
And it's just like because it's like a fun and interesting puzzle, and if you like puzzles, it's what it is.
Yeah.
So far, Karazhan is just phenomenally good. And it makes me like, I like Hearthstone, but the solo adventures are, I think, better and more fun than the multiplayer.
Wow.
Which is, I wish that this was just like sometimes I wish that they had put more resources into the single player.
I think because you quite like quizzes and puzzles, right?
Yeah.
And you've kind of just said that it's almost like a puzzle.
Yeah, that's what it is. They're puzzles, and a lot of times it's like, there's this crazy mechanic. Actually, I just remember what the other encounter is. You fight against a mirror, and every time you play a minion, you get a 1/1 copy of that minion in addition.
Oh. Okay.
And so, they give you this interesting mechanic, and either they have like a deck that you use, and you have to use that deck strategically and figure out what the solution is, or you build the solution out of your own card pool.
Yeah.
And those are both interesting to me. So yeah, I think this is quite well suited to my style of play. I don't love like the constructed mode where you're building a deck with a win condition, your opponent's building a deck with a win condition, and you're just sort of clashing those win conditions together and seeing who's comes out on top.
I mean, you already said that you prefer the arena.
Yeah, arena is a little there's a little bit of puzzle
Drafting.
Building into that, just in the draft format, and like at every turn you have to assess what are the risks, in a way that you don't necessarily do that in constructed. In constructed, you have often you have a firm idea of what the risks are.
You have a game plan.
Well, yeah, and you also you establish what their deck is quite quickly, and from there, if you know the meta, you can guess what they might play next turn. Arena is not like that, and a lot of people hate that about Arena, but this is what I enjoy. So yeah, if you like Hearthstone, if you've played Hearthstone in the past and thought it was fun, Karazhan is a really, really solid solo adventure so far. Like I'm surprised because
cool.
I was expecting it to be like, yeah, I had a good time and it was fun, but I'm really excited for the next wing.
I was just shocked with that theme because like I know Karazhan from World of Warcraft, and it's this gloomy, dark, like
yeah, maybe on the outside, but when you go inside, there's all this like fairy tale stuff going on as well. But
I suppose there is. But I mean,
they're
the
all
whole like
evil fairy tales, but this is much more brightly.
But the whole like medieval thing is that he was corrupted by demons. And
Yeah.
all this like
Yeah, they completely
demonic
brushed
stuff,
past
and they're
that
just
for
like,
this. They're
yeah,
like,
no,
whatever.
none of that.
Yeah.
It's all a good happy time.
Yeah.
It's a party.
Yeah, this is awesome. It's like
Yeah.
playing through a series of fairy tales.
It's cool.
With the card game.
It's very cool.
Really good.
Yeah.
Saveun, what have you been playing?
A lot of Rocket League still, but I have been dabbling in Substance Painter, and this is not much of a game, but Blake knows about it,
Yeah.
Substance Painter.
and it's taken the art
that-
world by storm.
Yeah.
Explain.
It's a texturing package, much in the same way that ZBrush revolutionized the way you model. I think Substance Painter kind of came along and took the whole texturing thing. In the past, you'd have to texture a model in Photoshop mainly,
Okay.
and it would
That's where you. My understanding is you sort of unwrap the model.
Mhm.
So if you think of like a pyramid, like an Egyptian style square pyramid, you'd have like
square pyramids. Yep.
yeah, but in Photoshop it would look like a square and then 4 triangles each connected in a sort of semicircle around it.
A better way to think of it would be a globe and unwrapping it into a map.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, they're coordinates that correspond to the actual model. But you would look at it as an image and then apply that texture to the model.
Yeah.
Which nothing new there, but Substance Painter is fantastic because it's built for the whole PBR system,
PBR.
the physically based rendering system, which is what the entire industry is moving towards right now.
Is that basically using actual physics to simulate light and stuff like that?
Yep.
Okay.
It's fantastic, and yeah, like movies and games are kind of going for it as well. But it's cool because you can just paint on the model like you normally
really
would.
Cool.
And what's awesome about Substance Painter is you could take a game asset like a character in Path of Exile, and you could work on it at 512 resolution, which is like a pretty common resolution we use. And on the fly, if we had to rescale it, you can actually just set it to 2K or something, and it will resample all the textures too.
Really?
Yeah, dude, it's kind of wicked.
Because it saves the brushstrokes?
I think I'm actually not sure what it does, but
It's using it's got its own like textures, right? Like
yeah.
I don't. How are you like? Say you have your own custom texture that you want to use. What's like the importing? Is there any sort of like process to like get it to paint?
There
in
are,
it?
dude. It gets really technical, and Substance has like an entire package where
Right.
like Paint is the one where you just apply textures and just paint like you normally would.
Yeah.
But then they also have Substance Designer,
Okay.
which is another standalone package, and you could almost work on a rock texture or something, like a procedural rock texture, just combining, fractals together and colors.
Hang on, Frackles.
Oh man.
Anything. Like just random patterns, right?
Fraggles from Fraggle
sorry.
Rock,
Did you hear Fraggles?
No, I heard Frackles, but
Fractals.
Fractals. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
The
Because I heard Frackles.
infinite.
I was
Wait,
trying
so-
to figure out, is this like an industry term that's just the silliest name ever? I combined the Frackles with the Blorps, and you get yourself a Spoogle.
It's like fuzzy logic. I like that. That's one of my favorite.
Fuzzy logic?
Yeah. Have you ever, fuzzy logic.
Is that like a washing machine thing?
If
only. It sounds like it should
It's for
be.
washing machine programming.
I
You
knew it.
put in your fuzzy logic,
Yeah.
and the output is, just a fluffier sweater.
We're so we get
Fuzzier.
damn it. Yeah, I'm playing around with that, and it's very fun.
So that okay. So in Substance Designer, did you say? So are you like, if you're
I'm surprised you haven't got into it, Blake, because you're meant to be in.
Yeah,
an
Blake.
artist.
So
God.
here's the thing. You're missing a key point here.
Yep, not an
It's
artist.
$200.
Well, if you got in early,
Oh, what? If I got on the Kickstarter.
it would have been $150.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's that extra 50 covering exactly?
They did a really sneaky thing where like the early version of it. The early version of it was it was $50, and it was like the Substance 1.0 beta that you got on Steam.
Sure.
And I guess they just wanted to make it cheaper just to get it out there. But then when 2.0 came out, they were like, hey, this is a whole nother thing. We're gonna charge more for it.
I have a question for you. My 2D art skills are crappy at best. Could I use this program and make something that's decent looking?
You actually, it combines a whole lot of stuff.
Right.
How's your 3D modeling?
Worse.
Well,
if you had an already like unwrapped 3D model, you probably could, right? Because I've only seen videos of it, but it looks like you're basically like painting a D&D miniature. Like that's kind of the way to think of it, I think.
Yeah, it's so good, man.
Okay. But you're painting it not just with color, but with actual like texture. So you do a brush stroke, and it looks like it's leather or something.
Yeah. That sounds cool. I'd like to give it a shot,
dude. You could fully do that. You could just get a leather brush stroke, and then just go to town on this freaking whatever.
What are you painting in leather, guys?
Everything is in leather now. It's where the industry is heading.
Working on some sort of GIMP game I don't know about. Like
that's the next Path of Exile.
Right.
Oh man,
the next expansion is all
it's all leather. It's the leather realm.
It's Pulp Fiction themed.
Yeah. Yeah, but okay. So, so when you like create textures in it, are you, you know how you make shaders where you're dragging like nodes into things? Is it that kind of thing?
That would be Designer.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But you can export those out.
Yeah.
And then import them into Painter.
Okay.
And
that's cool.
Use them as their own thing.
Yeah.
Dude, it's wicked.
Yeah,
and that's one of the reasons why Uncharted was so badass.
Oh, right.
Because they leverage it to like crazy.
So does this mean that like the visuals on Path of Exile should be like much better? Otherwise, it's your fault.
Much better. What do you mean? I think they look pretty good.
They are. You know what? The latest content we've been putting out looks astounding. But if we don't see a leaps and bounds improvement, I'm blaming you.
Yeah, damn. It's just an awesome tool to have. Like, it's sort of the thing that we needed that we didn't know we needed until it came out.
I imagine that could be quite good for the tile sets and stuff, right?
Yeah, for sure. For like seamless stuff, it'll be perfect.
Do you remember the good old days when you had to paint out seams in Photoshop?
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I haven't I've been lucky because I do environment stuff. I haven't really had to worry about
tileable stuff.
Yeah, tileable stuff just sort of goes hand in hand, so I don't really have to worry about it. It's like character models is really where seams come into play a lot.
Yep. We have issues with seams on older content in a big way. Even actually on the newer content, if you look at like Belly of the Beast, we see a lot. I think part of this is Belly of the Beast has a lot of like moving textures.
Yeah, Belly of the Beast is doing some different stuff that I'm not sure how they did it.
Seems like there's layers of textures.
There's like an I think that texture is just animated or something.
Yeah,
to make it look.
something.
Yeah, when you start scrolling textures, it's really difficult to line them up.
Yeah,
I remember seeing
issues there.
I mean, it looks pretty good now, but like I remember early on, like every single tile just had a seam on it, and it had like the moving, walls, and I was like, Jesus, I hope we know what we're doing here. But it turned out all right.
Talking about Path of Exile, Atlas of Worlds. So Blake, you, how you going?
I'm going well.
You did a fair bit of work for this, but normally you're designing like new tiles and new tile sets and new completely new art assets for them.
Yeah.
But in this one, you did a lot of like stitching together of tiles.
Yeah, this one was quite different to how we've done. Like how I've operated it in the past.
Have you had to do something like this before, or is this?
Yeah, of course. But yeah, sure.
Okay.
Of course. What? It's just like
you idiot. Ugh.
I mean, like for example, in Act 4, right? Say like for the mines or whatever.
Yeah.
I just came up with a bunch of what I thought would look cool, kind of thing.
Yep.
Bridges and ledges and
Yep.
whatever.
Rails
and then
walls and
so there was a lot of like, and there was initially there was a lot of that kind of design from me, and then like when the level designers started working on it, then they would request specific like tiles and joints and and things like that. So this Atlas of Worlds has been all just them level design requesting stuff from me.
Yeah.
And usually the way we did it was that one of the level designers would make a mock-up of what he needs.
Yeah.
So he can just continue working on
other layouts,
on his layout stuff, and he's just got like some thing to fill the hole.
You get to review the changes in the actual environment as a
yeah,
result.
yeah, and then I'll go in and like clean it up and make it look nice, and then update it, and then you can see the
end result.
Yeah.
So an example of this we have, I think it's called Vol City is one of the new maps. We showed it off in one of the previews, and it uses like the Vol ruin tile sets, like the indoor like sequence of chambers. One of the earliest tile sets I think in the game, right?
Yeah.
But is now layered on an outdoor tile set, and that it's also like on a high elevation in the same way that like Aqueducts is. So you see like clouds below and like rocks sticking up out of the clouds, but the actual like the gameplay area has these like chambers that look like strikingly similar to Machu Picchu. I think obviously that's the inspiration there, but the end result is really striking, and there's a whole bunch of maps that do similar things.
I think it's cool just to see that change in like the environment lighting.
Yeah,
on a tile set that's so well known.
Yeah,
no, like in Act 4, I sort of first saw this with the aqueducts, right?
Yeah.
And I'd always just seen them in that like
that
gloomy
gray,
lighting.
yeah.
And then there's a map called
Waterways, I think.
What's that?
Waterways.
Yeah, I think that's the one that like completely changes it to a sunny look, and it's like it's almost like a different tile set.
Yeah, I mean, we also did. I mean, Prophecy had there was a prophecy that took place in Lunaris and would replace all of the monsters in Lunaris Temple with Vol monsters and gave it the Vol environment.
Oh,
in
right.
the Lunaris tile set. And
so it was like really dark and
like a blue hue to everything on the black tiles, which was quite interesting on the black and gold tiles, whereas it's quite a red hue normally. And even though it's kind of a subtle change in a lot of ways, the tone it provides, it just shows you like light and color does so much to the style and feel of a zone. So yeah, I'm excited for this expansion just because, considering the few art resources we actually had, which was basically I think Blake. I don't know how many other 3D artists worked on this one.
Yeah, I think it was just Blake.
It might have been,
but like the amount of mileage we get out of this is really amazing.
Yeah, and the thing is, like it wasn't actually that much work compared to like if I had to do a bunch of new tile sets,
Yeah.
Like I was just doing bits and pieces here and there that needed to be done, and it wasn't as much work, as creating whole new stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suspect we probably won't use this for like we won't use this technique all the time, but when we want like new maps or whatever, this seems like a great technique to use.
It works perfectly with maps, like for sure.
And
then whatever new dungeons we create, you
Yeah.
got like how many new tile sets can you mash together with
Right.
those like new things?
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Let's talk about No Man's Sky because you picked it up.
Yep.
People have been talking about it on the internet.
Yeah.
I think they love it.
Oh man, so this is an interesting thing. So a lot of the reviews on Steam, like it's only been out almost.
He looked at a clock. Why have you looked at a clock?
12 hours on Steam.
No, surely he's been out.
It came out
yesterday.
No, it came out this morning.
Really?
Yeah. I've only played it for like 4 hours.
Then why were people complaining about like?
Oh, it came out on
PlayStation.
PlayStation.
It came out a few days ago on PC.
Right.
But
it came out specifically on Steam.
Yeah.
Why the delay?
I mean, not on PC, PS4. I mean, it came out a few days ago on PS4.
Gotcha.
That's what everyone was like playing.
Yeah.
And it came out just today on PC.
Yeah.
But a few weeks ago, a guy bought a leaked copy.
Yep.
Off eBay, I think.
Yep.
For like $1,300.
Worth it?
Yeah, totally worth it. Totally. And he started like you know this and you guys know this, but for any listeners that don't, the guy started like streaming on Twitch this illegal copy.
Right.
And he got shut down because of it. But people had already recorded it.
Yep.
And they were posting it still on YouTube and whatever.
Sure.
But they were getting shut down pretty quickly. So those illegal streams found a nice home on Pornhub.
I didn't know this.
Yeah. So if you search No Man's Sky on Pornhub, you got
Pornhub, the home of gaming.
A ton of No Man's Sky videos.
Wow. Okay. But you've been playing. You played this morning. How long have you played for? How many hours would you say you put into it?
4, I reckon, 4 or 5.
That's quite a lot of time considering it came out 12 hours ago, and we spent about 2 hours at lunch.
Yeah.
And at some point, you had to sleep.
So my timeline is this. It came out at about 5 this morning.
Okay.
I started playing it at 6, and then at around.
You got up. It's a Saturday.
No. Okay, this is even crazier. I misjudged the time. I thought it was coming out at 4, and so I set my alarm for 3:30. Set it for 4.
Oh my god!
And I got up. I went to bed at like 10, trying to get to sleep, and I was just like, I felt like a kid at Christmas, just being like, oh man, No Man's Sky's coming. I just gotta sleep. So anyway, struggled all night. Woke up basically every hour, looking at the time. Then 4 o'clock hit, and I was like, yes, this is it. I'm gonna go play it finally. I went on Steam, and it said available in 1 hour. I was like, So yeah. Anyway, this finally started playing it at 6, and played it till like maybe 10:30 or something, and then I started getting ready for the podcast.
Yep.
But yeah, from what I've played, I'm really, really enjoying it.
Yep.
Like I spent that 4 hours on the first planet, just walking around, finding stuff, scanning things, collecting resources, shooting droids.
Yep.
Yeah. Trying to find. I found a good place to look at ships.
There's a catalog.
Yeah, I found a brochure.
Is it like those people who sit by airports and
Dude, it was exactly like that.
Watch planes leaving?
It was 100% like that. I found an airport, basically. It was like a trading outpost that had these landing pads, so ships were like coming in and out.
Yeah.
And it was fully set up with like an airport with seats for waiting area, and there was like big screens and stuff, and there was a trading like port there.
Yeah.
But it seems that if you see a ship, you can just walk up to it and like interact with it, and the owner of the ship basically pops up, and you can offer to buy the ship off him.
Hi, I know you just flown in here just randomly. Mind if I buy your ship and leave you stranded here?
It's almost like you're just sitting at like a bus stop, and you see a car pull up, and you're just like, hey. I'll give you 1,000 space credits for this this car here. But yeah, it was totally like that, and I was just like sitting there looking at ships coming in and out, and like seeing if I could afford any of them, but no, I couldn't.
You've got like 200,000 units, whatever that means.
Yeah, the cheapest one I found was like 300,000.
Okay.
Most expensive one I've seen is like 3 million.
Okay. So I mean, where did you get all those units?
Oh, so I got them from trading things.
Yep.
So there is sort of loot. I guess I haven't found any actual use for. Okay, so there's resources that you find, carbon and iron and plutonium and whatever, and those are used for things, but you can also trade them.
Yep.
But there are also items that I found, like what looked like a Klingon knife type of thing, like some weird alien like ceremonial knife.
Yep.
That I can't use as a weapon, and I guess it's just like kind of vendor trash,
an artifact or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
I'm not sure like how like deep this kind of thing is supposed to go. Like this whole
is it like the gray items in World of Warcraft that are just there for the vendor?
Yeah,
or
that's what I wonder, because
like
it
a crafting base or something.
I don't know. Like, I've only sort of skimmed the surface of the crafting, I think.
Right.
Or I mean, I'm finding new recipes all the time, so maybe there's one that uses a Klingon ceremonial knife or whatever. But
I think it's called a Klingon ceremonial knife in the game, right?
But yeah, I just ended up like I found a few of these things. Like if you shoot the robot guys,
the little
they drop like circuit boards and stuff. I can't remember what they're called.
And a barrel.
Yeah. Well, that's what the circuit board is.
Okay.
They drop the barrel.
Yeah. They look actually like beer kegs. Like
they totally do.
Metal beer kegs.
Yeah. It is kind of weird because the droid is like this high tech like GLaDOS almost looking type of thing, and this like keg just drops out of it.
And the keg is big. It's not. It's just not, it doesn't look like it would fit.
I guess it's like their power supply, maybe.
Right.
Like, I mean, you could imagine that's a battery or something.
Sure.
A big AA battery.
I think it's just what's easy to render.
Probably. It's also I mean, it's also cool because like it's round,
so it rolls down.
So if I fought one like and I shot him near a cliff and I just watched it like roll down, I was like, oh. But what was I saying? Yeah, that like those guys. Like those guys drop like circuit boards and stuff, and I don't know what to do with those besides sell them.
Right.
But it seems weird that they'd have like something in there that's so like detailed.
Yeah.
But also vendor trash.
Well, I mean, a lot of games use the name color as a sort of an information.
Yeah. These are that's
device.
Also an interesting thing because these are green.
Right.
Like everything I found like that has been green. Like the knife was green. These circuit boards are green.
Interesting.
Which in every other game, it's a meaningful item in some way.
Magic.
Yeah,
level.
where the resources are just basically gray.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
interesting.
I don't know. So I'm interested to see if that actually gets.
If only there was some way to look up.
I'm not doing it.
Tell you what. How was the Zero tutorial for this game?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Sounds real good.
Mm-hmm.
So the tutorial is just like these little pop-ups in the corner that tell you to do something.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much it. Doesn't tell you anything about crafting, which needs the most tutorial. Like, I don't need to be told how to look into a crate. Also, like, time to crate.
Mm-hmm.
Start to crate was like 2 seconds. Like, I started with a crate in front of me.
Jeez.
And I say that because we got a we got a message on our website about somebody saying
I can read it out.
Yeah.
This is from Astonish. Oh, at Sonish, as opposed to Astonish. I assume you cut and paste this.
Yeah.
At Sonish, it's, on our WordPress site. By the way, check it out. frontseatgamer.wordpress.com. He says, "You guys forgot the most important aspect to compare between GTA and Witcher 3. The start to crate measure, in which I believe Witcher 3 loses horribly." And that's because Blake says there's a crate in the intro.
Yep.
But there's a crate about 2 seconds into No Man's Sky.
Yeah, there is. It's a sci-fi crate.
Yeah.
So
counts.
Cyber crate. Yeah, so it tells you what does it even tell you to do? Like scan for things and stuff like that. But it's not. It says like find resources to repair your ship, and you need to. The first thing you need to do is repair your ship, and that's what it tells you to do. It doesn't tell you how to craft anything. If it does, I totally missed it. So I spent ages like trying to figure out how to craft mostly because of my like knowledge of other crafting games where Minecraft or Ark or whatever, Terraria or whatever. First thing you do is build like a crafting table. And then you use that to craft everything. So I thought it was going to be something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe not put down the crafting table, but the table is like taking up a space in your inventory or something. Like no, you're not at all. You just like click on an empty space in your inventory, and if you've got the resources, you can build the thing, and then it just slots right into that inventory thing.
But it looked like there weren't many empty spaces available in your inventory.
So
it could only hold like about 16 things or something like that.
Yes, and I've upgraded like several times.
That's
like you start off
sounding.
You start off with like maybe I want to say like 6 or maybe 8 spaces, and half of those are already full with like stuff that you need. Like your multi-tool is the thing that you use to harvest resources and shoot guys.
Sure.
You've got your scanner that you scan the surrounding area for like resources and points of interest.
Yep.
And like your binoculars and your suit, they're all taking up
Right.
like spaces in your inventory. So
is there like a stash style thing as well? Like
the ship is kind of your stash.
How much can that store?
I'm not too sure. I can't remember. But again, a lot of that is taken up with parts of the ship,
Right.
like engines and and stuff.
So like Path of Exile, we have a fairly limited inventory.
But we have a huge stash.
Yeah, huge stash, and on top of that, like a big part of the gameplay cycle is returning to town to sell
Right.
stuff, and
I think
we make it very easy. But it looked like in No Man's Sky, you need to be near a trading post or something. to
Yeah,
sell
and
stuff, and that's
you can certainly like scan like from orbit for points of interest, like
Yep.
trading posts and stuff. So that's sort of what I've like. That's the way my game is sort of evolved.
directing.
Yep.
Yep.
Directed to is like find a bunch of resources. I'm like, all right, I'm out of space. I need to find a trader. Or like with the knife and stuff, I specifically take those planning to trade them.
Yeah,
So I've just got like it's just cargo. Then I know
Right.
I'm transporting it to a trader kind of thing.
let's get Saveun's take on this game because you love open world sandbox games.
Okay.
Let me rephrase.
I'll go
you
with
love
you.
open world sandbox game.
I'll say one thing though,
Mm.
and you saw this as well, Saveun. When you shoot the robot guys who are like the Protectatrons,
Yeah.
it has a GTA style like what's it called, like rating or something?
I don't know. Is that-
wanted level.
Yeah.
It has a GTA style wanted level.
Mhm.
And if you can the more you kill them, the worse cops come, the more space cops come.
Mhm.
At some point, the army comes.
Yeah, it's totally
and
like
there's a
that. Like
helicopter.
I like you would have. We've all seen this on the promotional videos with the like big 2-legged walking like robot guys.
You're just thinking, no, I don't know what you're talking about.
You know in Star Wars when you those 2-legged
Oh, the
walking
chicken
things?
walkers?
Yeah. So
the
there's
ATSTs.
yeah. So there's those type of things in that's the level 2 space cop.
Okay.
Right. I don't know
Sure.
what there's 5 levels and I don't know what goes beyond that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so GTA.
Oh wow.
It's like GTA.
Well, hey, if that's the case, then it's a fantastic game. I'm very much on the fence about this game. It's cool. It looks like Blake's enjoying it, but I don't get what the point of this particular game is.
Is Minecraft a game that interested you at all?
No.
Right. I feel like there's a similar attraction for people to that Minecraft had to this, where it's a big procedurally generated open world that you get to explore.
I see a lot of Path of Exile in this game. Apart from the setting is very
Weird, 'cause
different.
I see very little.
Well, inventory management, exploration, shooting at things, collecting
Path of Exile
resources.
does not have a lot of exploration
No.
going on.
Well,
no.
it's all inventory
it sort of
stuff.
does, but it's a different style. It's more like this map is random and I need to get to the end of it.
The idea of
Yeah.
not having a goal is off-putting to me.
Yeah, I totally understand that. Like I think there are definitely I mean, I hate to say it, but there's 2 types of people in this world. Those that are goal oriented and those that just meander
Yeah.
around, and I'm definitely a
Meanderer.
meanderer.
You're a journey type person.
Yeah. And that's fine. Like I was like that's probably why I liked Ark so much, right? There was no end goal with Ark. And me and like a bunch of friends when we started playing it, a few of them dropped off because like they just said there's no point to this game. I don't see the point. And it's like they're the types of people that need missions or quests or goals,
You also made your own goals with your friends.
Yeah, that's right.
Which I now want to address because multiplayer has been a hotly debated issue regarding No Man's Sky. What's going on with that?
So all through this whole hype train for like the last 2 or whatever years, right?
Yeah.
Sean Murray, the head of like Hello Games, has been pretty vague on what multiplayer is going to be.
Yeah.
Like I remember him basically first off saying it was going to be like Journey or Dark Souls, where maybe you'll see people fade in and fade out or something like that.
The multiplayer would be incidental at best.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and then that eventually, like his end message was that you would actually be able to see people.
Okay.
But the universe is so vast that the chances of two people meeting are like a trillion to one.
Billions of possible destinations.
There's 500 quintillion planets.
Okay.
Or, I mean, not planets, star systems.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the chances of meeting people are almost impossible. Within the first day that it was released on PlayStation, two people met.
Yeah.
And
they didn't, right?
Yeah, they met. They coordinated with each other.
Yeah.
And then met up on this one planet and were in the same building, but they couldn't see each other.
Right.
And not only that, one player saw the planet as day and the other saw it as night.
Right.
And Hello Games' only sort of reply was like, "Oh, well, that's amazing. I didn't expect two people to meet so quickly." And then he said something vague about the servers being overtaxed or something.
Right.
But never actually
addressing.
Yeah, never really addressed
each other.
But then he also posted a thing saying that, we're adding a player scanner to encourage more people meeting like this.
Right. So, except
they didn't meet, so I don't know what the hell is going on with this.
It seems like there's a lot of upset online because people were expecting this to be the sort of game where you could land on a planet and you might see another player running around shooting stuff, mining stuff, etc. And you could potentially interact with them by shooting them or mining their stuff or whatever. Like in the same way that like DayZ, you can run into players and interact with them, and there's this sort of emergent gameplay that comes from that. But what it seems like is actually happening is you can see the effects of another player's actions secondhand.
Yeah.
Like if someone names a planet, you'll see that planet's name. If someone eliminates all of an animal from that planet, you won't see that animal on that planet. But it sounds like you just won't. It's not the same. It's not the multiplayer experience people were expecting. It's not Minecraft where you'll see their avatar.
Yeah. Well, but then it's weird that they're adding like a player scanner thing to find players. Like the messaging is like just vague about it. Like
So we were talking about what happened. Like why was the messaging vague? Why was this confusion ever even an issue? Why was it never clear?
I think, I think one thing about that is that, I don't know Sean Murray.
No.
But okay, go on.
I think
in a good direction already.
I think that he is being cautious about multiplayer because in his mind, when people ask about multiplayer, like what they're really asking is there going to be deathmatch? Is there going to be a capture the flag type thing?
Right.
And I'm wondering if he's trying to like stay away from that type of multiplayer. Like he doesn't want to say yes, there's multiplayer because he's worried that
there's a lot of connotation.
Yeah, that he said there's multiplayer. That means there's deathmatch and capture the flag and all this stuff. But I mean, I'm just guessing what he's thinking.
Well, it sounds like the opposite happened though, because the multiplayer in this game is very sort of asynchronous. And my guess is, and I've talked to you guys about this before. He Peter Molyneux'd it.
Yeah.
He was doing these like he's a game developer. He's not like a public person. No one really gets into game development to be famous, right?
No, you get into podcasting for that.
Yeah. And he's an untrained like media personality in a lot of ways. He's probably had some PR training at this point because it's unavoidable.
Yeah.
But when you're talking to someone who is not necessarily a gamer and they want to know, can you see other people? It's probably hard to say, no, you won't directly see the other people, but you'll see their actions. Their actions will impact your game world. And that's a kind of complicated. But for someone who's not really familiar with games, it's a sort of a hard idea to communicate. So we probably just as a harmless shorthand for saying that he just said, yeah, sure, multiplayer.
But he started off saying that. Like he started off stressing that you will see people's actions, but you won't see them. Like this is from like 3 years ago when they first started talking about it.
So maybe he
and over time it's sort of the messages got more and more towards it's a 1-to-1 multiplayer, you'll see other people.
Maybe he was just like, yeah, we'll put it in, and then they just didn't put it in because they ran out of time.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they were just counting on. Maybe if that's the case, it would be easy to think that the universe is so massive. We've got ages before anybody's going to meet.
Maybe they're still working on it.
Yeah,
maybe it's coming. Maybe it's not. People are pissed though.
I mean, yeah, kinda.
Yeah. How do you feel about it? Do you care?
Kind of not really, because again, it's like Elite Dangerous, where it's that like you do sometimes see, you have the chance to see someone in Elite Dangerous.
Okay.
But
that's not the point.
Pretty much don't. Yeah. That's not there's.
And it seems like that's not the point of this either.
It's not the point.
So what is the point?
Good question.
Yeah.
The point is to get to the center.
Is that actually the point?
Sounds very Molyneux.
Yes. Yeah. Have you played Curiosity?
You keep tapping.
Yeah, you just tap. It's just a Planet Molyneux in the middle.
It's just Peter Molyneux's head in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, that's the vague sort of goal, is to like get to the middle. And you start off when you first go to the star map, which I just did for the first time with you guys. There is like a path that's been sort of waypointed in a way for you to the center for you to follow. I'm not following that.
If you want to.
Yeah, if you want to. And talking about like tutorials, there was a pop-up that said, make your way to the center.
Mm-hmm.
But like that, I think that is just giving an otherwise like aimless game like something to focus on.
So this is what almost, I think, exactly what Spore did. Did you guys play Spore?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you get to the space level. And you make your ship, and the task, I believe, is get to the center of the galaxy, and you basically have to planet hop.
Okay.
And people did not react well.
Well, Spore had a lot of other problems. Like, I
liked Spore. Gonna go whatever.
Did you? So you liked
I did.
Getting to space, and then every 10 seconds, like having, this planet is under attack, and no matter what, that planet somehow can't look after itself, so you have to manually fly over there.
Yeah, but you give up on that. You embrace the fact that it's a violent universe, and you've got your own personal mission that you want to follow.
That's not what. Like, now we're just talking about Spore. So with Spore, like the way Spore was marketed. What I thought it was going to be was that you get to that space stage, right, and you're no longer in like an individual Spore thing. You're controlling like a galactic civilization. You know? It becomes an RTS at that point. That's what I was expecting. Okay. But no, you're still that one dude flying a spaceship, single-handedly defending an entire empire by yourself. Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we'll probably wait for you to play more of No Man's Sky before we talk about it. We'll probably talk about it more next week.
I do want to mention about Steam reviews.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's only been out like less than a day, half a day. And it's been mixed, leaning towards negative.
Yeah.
And
I'll tell you why.
Expectations?
No, not even that. Like it's
no tutorial.
It's yeah, that's exactly it. It's crashing a lot on PCs.
Oh wow!
And a lot of like every negative comment I read, I scrolled through a bunch of them. They were all like, saw the title screen and then it crashed, and or like, it's apparently like really taxing on even like decent computers.
Wow.
So it sounds like I was quite lucky that it just runs fine on my computer.
What kind of game developer has a game that has performance issues? Ugh.
I don't know.
Doesn't sound like a very good game film.
No.
Yeah. But it's kind of a bummer because like it's a great game. It's an awesome game.
Yeah.
If you like,
it'd be a different story if you had some of those issues.
Oh yeah. If I came on here and was like, it's crashed 100 times, I can't. It's unplayable. Then.
I was like a kid on Christmas, and then
I wonder how much of this
it'd be like real Christmas to me.
I wonder how much of this is it's a heavily publicized game, and these are people who are not ordinarily PC gamers and don't have a PS4, and they go, well, the only avenue I have for it is PC. I have this, 4-year-old Dell laptop. I'm sure it'll run fine.
Oh, could be, yeah.
They don't a lot like if you are not a PC gamer, you may not take hardware into consideration.
That's true.
we get that. I think we see that quite a lot on
people running like 10-year-old.
Yeah, Windows XP.
There is at some point you have to draw a line in the sand and say we don't support your hardware.
Maybe that is the case, but yeah, I just thought that was a real bummer. That
let's see how it pans out over the next couple of weeks, and then we'll talk about some more. Let's do some questions because we've got some email questions, and we're running out of time here.
Wow.
Let's start with this is an email question from Rock Dog.
Rock Dog.
First of all, I'm gonna read out the nice comment he said because ego. Hey guys, nice work on the show. It's always a good listen. Here are a couple of questions for you.
Why did you say that? It's always a good listen so sarcastically.
Because I know the truth.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you want to email your own sarcastic questions, it's frontseatquestions@gmail.com.
You think it's always a good
always a good idea to email us. No, actually,
it is. What are you saying?
Totally. You should email us. We love hearing from you guys.
Definitely email us.
And tweet at us at FrontSeatCast and Facebook.com/FrontSeatCast. You know the drill if you've listened. Okay, so his questions. In an earlier episode, someone mentioned that they were reading the Mistborn books, which I also enjoyed. Could the Mistborn source material be used to make a successful video game, or is the quote-unquote magic and lore too convoluted? I can see potential for some sort of mix between The Witcher and Dishonored set in that universe, but maybe it could work in another genre. So, Saveun and I
it sounds like a Blake
series
statement.
Blake,
So it's funny that because like I've just read like the last 2 Witcher books, not Witcher books, Mistborn books.
Yep,
and the Witcher books too. But yeah, like reading those with the magic system, it totally sounds like it would be perfect for a video game.
Yep.
Because
The Witcher is such a good video
because
game.
The Witcher is such an ace book.
better than GTA.
Book and video game.
Better, yeah, so much better. Those lords, let me tell you.
I haven't seen a single magic spell in GTA.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
There is a Yeti in GTA.
What about carrying infinite like guns and stuff? Is that not magic?
Wait, you can carry infinite guns?
Infinite guns?
Well, it seems like there's no limit to your like the max amount of guns you can carry.
What?
Yeah.
But I thought that was the physics on that game.
I think that's magic.
Yeah, that's magic. Yeah, he's got a.
Sorry.
All right. Anyway, let's stay on topic. Go on.
Yeah, but the Mistborn magic system, like it sounds like when you read those books, it sounds like it's perfect for a video game.
Yeah.
Because they're basically like X-Men in a way.
Okay.
Like there are like specific. There are these people that are born with this ability.
Yep.
And the ability is activated by ingesting metal. And the way they do it is like they have like a little vial that usually has like alcohol in with like shavings of a metal, and they drink it. And they
that vodka with like gold flakes in it.
Yeah.
Gold slog or whatever.
Yes, that's exactly it. Yeah. Okay. And the way they activate it is it basically like dissolves into their body and then will stay there until they activate it.
Right.
And depending on what they ingest, it creates like different abilities. So one could be it can pull. You can become Magneto and pull metal towards you or push it or things like that. There are other ones that like influence people's minds. There are ones that like slow down time and stuff like that.
Sounds quite similar to like the plasmid system.
It is actually. It is, yeah. But also like so like those kind of powers would be perfect for like a video game.
Yep.
And also like it basically has a class type system like built in like a video game because only like you can only use one of those things. Like you're only born with the ability to use one or like maybe two or something. And there are very special people that can use all of them, and they're called Mistborn. But so that sounds like it's perfect for video game powers and stuff. But the actual like application of that, I think would be quite difficult in a video game, like pushing metal towards you, or like pushing from like.
Well, gravity guns exist, I
guess
that's an old mechanic at this point.
So pushing metal, for instance, is one of the most common, and they can basically fly because like Magneto, he's just using
magnetic waves.
Waves around you. But it also creates like these beams from your body to metal points, and those are the specific things that you push and pull on.
Yep.
And so like that sort of thing in a video game would like
All
get
right,
a little
so-
messy.
But that's, I mean, this is the sort of thing that you would brush over. You wouldn't care about the exact like magnetic
Yeah,
waves.
I
in a
suppose
game.
so.
It would just be like,
Yeah.
if you've got the magnet power, you can hover.
You just you can just fly kind of
Yeah.
thing. But then you'd have to like if you go out into the country where there's no like metal
you'd have a
buildings and
weekend
stuff,
or
then
whatever,
you can't do anything. And then you need specific points of metal
Yeah. Okay.
kind of thing.
Interesting.
Or you just set the game in a city and then you can just fly forever.
So he has other questions, and we're running out of time.
Yeah.
So I want to get to them.
But I will say that I will say that Dishonored I felt came very, very close to like what a Mistborn game could be.
Okay.
And probably because like you just said, it sort of just brushes over like the finite details that are in the books,
Right.
kind of thing. Like in Dishonored, if you want to get to a ledge, shoom, you just
Right.
click a button and you're on the ledge.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to worry about what specific
Angle
metal
and speed
you're.
and whatever.
Yeah. So Dishonored came pretty close, I
Cool.
think. Yeah.
Dude, what a massive topic. We should have led with that or something.
Yeah.
You know?
We can
Yeah, because it looks like you could just keep talking about it.
Dude, we can come back to that. Like
Well-
those books are like
Why don't we do an episode
Fantastic.
about
about Mistborn.
well,
Dude.
no, about like video game appropriations of things we like.
Yeah, that could
think
be a
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
But let's move on to his next question. He also mentioned in the past that we listened to and were possibly inspired by the Idle Thumbs podcast. And he also says you guys are far less annoying to listen to.
Man, do I say that?
Um,
I like
Thank
Idle
you.
Thumbs.
what
Idle
other
Thumbs are great.
podcasts are you guys into? I will say I don't listen to Idle Thumbs.
I listen
You
to
guys-
Idle Thumbs.
you
It's
guys
pretty
do.
good.
I did at one point. I'm off it.
I listened to This American Life, Planet Money, Reply All, Startup.
Startup's good.
And
Gimlet?
I just started listening. Yeah, Gimlet. I have a Gimlet shirt. I was a member.
What's Gimlet?
Gimlet's
Gimlet
a podcast
Media.
company.
Oh, okay.
And I've just started listening to Science Versus today. Science Versus is awesome, by the way.
Who wins, Science or Today?
So far, Science.
Yeah. Oh.
Not Science Versus. Oh, I see. What you did.
Wait, what did?
Science Versus is the name, and I started listening to it today.
Oh,
Today is the day I started
I
listening
don't
to
know.
Science Versus.
Okay, here's the thing. I've never heard of this podcast before. I thought you were saying the title of the
I
podcast
thought you
is
were doing a
Science
funny
versus
joke,
Today.
and I was like,
No, I was making a funny joke.
Yes,
Science versus Today sounds like a really good podcast name.
Yeah.
yeah, it actually does.
Yeah.
What am I on? I'm listening to the best podcast in the universe, No Agenda.
Oh man.
Um,
This is where you get all your Trump info from.
Man, Saveun and I
the collective
clash
podcast.
heads about that.
Hey,
dumb
hey, let me
podcast.
finish off this list. A bit of Giant Bomb. Jeez.
Giant Bomb's good.
The collective podcast is what I've been marathoning right now, which is really good.
Right, that's the
They just recently had an episode with Richard Taylor.
yeah.
It's-
You got me onto that. That's really cool. They had one with like Ollie Moss, and I've scrolled
Oh
through.
yeah,
and they've got
3 hours with Ollie Moss.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Who's Ollie Moss?
Ollie Moss is the art director of Firewatch, but he's got wicked Star Wars posters. He's
his Star Wars posters. Are
he's legit
fantastic.
Googler's
I
art.
love his art direction.
Yeah,
in
he
Firewatch.
he's also
Beautiful.
done. I'm pretty sure this is true. He's also done like some covers for like Harry Potter.
Oh yeah,
like, updated
dude,
covers
check
for
out his
Harry Potter.
website. He's got all that stuff.
Yeah.
And the one other one is CG Garage, which is a V-Ray Chaos Group podcast, and that's really cool. Because the guy's just going around to like VFX studios.
Oh yeah.
Because he works for V-Ray,
Right.
and he would just talk about them. And he talked to the guys who made Game of Thrones a little while ago.
Oh, nice.
So it's just awesome, like VFX.
Is that all?
podcast.
Is that all digital stuff or like?
It's a podcast, yeah, it's digital.
No, I mean like the visual.
They mail you
it's
a
V-Ray,
cassette tape
man.
once a month.
But
It's like, is it like old Netflix where you just get
Yeah.
a CD in the mail and you
Uh-huh.
have to post it back?
yeah, it's V-Ray, dude. Yeah, so it is all
Yeah.
about digital. It's
Okay.
production houses,
Yeah.
basically.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah. So I listened to Giant Bomb and Idle
Beastcast.
Thumbs and Beastcast, which is their like
New York.
New York version. I actually like that one more.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Because
I
of
just like the
Caravella.
personalities. Yeah.
I think you guys get away with listening to longer and looser podcasts than I do, because when I'm out, you guys listen to podcasts at work while you're working because
Yeah.
you work on visual
Yeah.
stuff and the language doesn't sort of interact with that. When I'm at work, because a lot of what I involves language, like if I'm answering emails or whatever, it's hard to listen to someone talking and also be writing at the same time.
Yeah. No, I get that as well. Like if I need to chat to someone about something, I'd need to turn off whatever I'm listening to.
Yeah, I can't even listen to music with words in it. Like if there's lyrics, I'm like, I can't.
Well, it also depends on how hard I'm concentrating on something. Like if I'm really concentrating on something, I can't listen to anything.
Something.
Yeah. If I'm well, that's the thing, because like you figure, like when you first start an issue, you're trying to figure out how you're going to do it, and then at some point it sort of clicks, and then you're basically just carrying out what you've got planned in your head, and then you can listen to whatever you want.
Right.
But yeah, I'm listening to like Giant Bomb and Beastcast, Idle Thumbs. I really like Idle Thumbs.
But Bim Bam, he's still on that?
Yeah, I'm listening to my brother and me.
Yep.
They're really good. Not as much lately. Their spin-off though, Adventure Zone. I'm listening to that like crazy.
D&D podcast.
Yeah, they have a D&D podcast that comes out every 2 weeks, and it's probably the funniest podcast I've ever heard. It's like three brothers and their dad, like playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, the dad's like a radio announcer. He's quite a character.
It's really good. But I also I got into like paranormal podcasts recently.
Wait, with the guy, the lizard man guy?
David Icke?
Is he the guy?
Yeah. Okay, I've listened to an interview with him, and that guy. He's
pretty legit.
He's got some ideas. But there's a really, really good podcast if you like paranormal stuff, like aliens, Bigfoot, like I don't know, conspiracy theories, just stuff like that. There's a podcast called Mysterious Universe.
Mm-hmm. And sounds terrible.
It's great. It's an Aussie podcast.
Yeah, it sounds terrible.
But they approach it like they're quite open-minded about things, but not so open-minded that they'll believe anything.
Right.
Like there are episodes where...
Okay, what do they believe? Give me an example of something they believe.
Hollow moon.
They are flat Earth.
Lizard people.
Just like the standard stuff.
What?
We didn't land on the
moon. Lizard people. No, but the standard stuff, like, the universe is so vast, there has to be intelligent life in it.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Maybe aliens have visited us. Like, they would say that there's enough circumstantial evidence or anecdotal evidence from people that there is definitely something going on with that.
No.
Same with Bigfoot. There's enough like anecdotal stuff that maybe there's something
really
there. But that's the thing. They're like, yeah, maybe there is. Like, this is what they're saying. Then they will have an entire podcast where they're just tearing apart this book about invisible Sasquatches that are.
Well, at least they've drawn a line somewhere.
Invisible
Sasquatch is totally real, but invisible?
No way, man. Because they're extra dimensional.
Sasquatch is 100% visible.
But that's the thing. They're just like, no, this is ridiculous, and they just spend an entire podcast like making fun of this legitimate read like published book about this like garbage stuff.
Well, legitimate is
Well, I mean, anyone can publish a book these days, but still. But yeah,
they take issue with the fact that Sasquatch is invisible. They're fine with the fact that there's a Sasquatch.
Well, they're fine with the fact that maybe there is like, I mean, they're a very sort of maybe podcast. They're not sitting there going, well, yeah, of course there's like an alien agenda, blah blah blah, whatever.
I want hard conclusions. If I listen to if someone said, yeah, maybe there's global warming, that's not interesting.
But but here's the thing. I'm enjoying this podcast so much. They have a Plus subscription.
No! Don't tell me you've subscribed.
Yeah.
No!
So not only I get, I was just getting a 1 hour podcast a week, right?
Jeez.
Now I get an extended version of that 1 hour podcast plus a podcast, another podcast during that week for their subscribers. And I had access to like a year's worth of like their back catalog that I just listened to. That was amazing. It was fantastic.
You need old conspiracy theory.
It's great. Yeah, but then
sweet. I can listen to conspiracy theories from a year ago.
You should seriously. You should listen to it because
should I?
They're not like in it. They're not drinking the Kool-Aid.
You say that, but
they're
they
serving
believe in
it.
Sasquatch.
They're serving up the Kool-Aid and just saying this shit's ridiculous. And they go to those paranormal conferences and there are certain people that they know that are just this person is full of it's just spewing out garbage, but we're gonna go watch it and report back on it because it's entertaining.
Okay, is it funny?
Yeah.
Is it intentionally funny?
Yeah. It is they're not up there talking about reptilians and stuff with a straight face. You should watch it. It's really good. Oh, you should listen to it. It's really good.
Jet fuel can't melt steel beams.
Oh man.
Oh
yeah.
Oh man.
You know. Anyway. All right. Well,
got another one?
Let's do one last question. One last question. This is going to be quick fire. Okay.
All right.
And we're going to start with you, Saveun. All right.
Yes. You can ask me the question.
Okay, good.
That was the question.
Okay. This is from Belle at Ninja Kiwi.
Ooh.
She emailed us and said,
Friend of the show.
apparently, I've never met her.
Okay.
Shout out to Belle.
I don't think she listens anymore.
Belle, you don't listen. You're never going to hear this. Top 3 Pokemon to be stuck in a cave with for a year. Go, Saveun, now.
Ooh. Wait.
Talk.
Dude, I need
Answer. 3 Pokemon. Go.
In a cave, I need fire. Give me a Charmander.
Okay, good.
I need something to eat. Give me a Farfetch.
Okay. Oh, wow. Wow, good call.
That's
and I need some
fantastic.
water. Give me a Squirtle.
Oh,
man.
that's pretty good. But what happens when you eat your Farfetch? It's a year.
Oh shit. I'll evolve the Squirtle to a Blastoise and just hoard that shit.
No.
Cook.
Oh yeah, you could eat.
I need a Snorlax or
Soup,
something,
you
right?
I think you were on the right track, but execute. It's a
Oh.
whole bunch of
Oh.
eggs, right? Then it turns into executor because it's like a tree that grows eggs.
Tree egg? Yeah, okay.
Blake, go.
Is that like
There are way too many questions for this, man.
Yeah,
I need to
is
know
there
what
like
kind of
a
cave.
plant Pokemon that you could like eat its leaves and it would grow back? I reckon like you could with a Venusaur.
Yeah, I mean they've
And it
got
would just
razor
grow
leaf,
back.
right? You just get
Yeah.
them a razor leaf or rock.
So you just eat
and
its leaves. Like it's not delicious, but it might sustain you for a year.
But also
Okay.
a cave for a year. I think suicide is kind of...
Yeah. Which one can tie a rope?
I need an execute to hang my rope.
So my first thought, this might say where my head is at,
Yeah,
but my first thought was that I would just have like a bunch of Jigglypuffs and just sleep the whole year.
right. Yeah, I was thinking something
yeah.
similar. That lullaby is probably pretty useful.
Yeah.
Although you know what, Chansey.
What does that
Chansey's
one do?
big and squishy.
Mm.
Has a giant egg in her pouch. I don't know why.
Right. You can just eat that
it's
and it'll lay
it's the
another
egg
one.
yeah, she feeds you the egg, right?
Yeah.
And then
It does lullaby, right?
I don't know if she has a lullaby.
Well, you have a Jigglypuff for that. I think Jigglypuff is a good pillow.
I mean, sure, why not?
It's better than a...
I have serious doubts about having any water Pokemon that produces water because
Oh.
where's that water coming from?
Oh.
You know,
Squirtle, you look way too heavy giving me this water. Wait a...
Lemonade? Where did you get this from, Squirtle?
I reckon that Farfetch call was good.
Yeah,
though.
that was solid.
Yeah, we had some
That is just one
Farfetch-
meal, though.
Yeah.
That's the...
Yeah.
Farfetch'd is the only a Pokemon that established as being eaten. I think.
Yeah, so we actually talked about that off a podcast.
Yeah,
like,
we're talking about in Pokemon lore. Farfetch'd was hunted nearly to extinction because it's so delicious, and the name Farfetch'd the Farfetch'd Japanese name is some like saying that means a duck comes with a leek, which basically means it's an unexpected convenience because you cook the duck with the leek, and so when you think about it that way, it's really messed up.
like it's just carrying around its own garnish.
It's like come and eat me,
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Oh my god.
It's like coming around with a turkey with a baster,
Yeah.
you know.
Cow with a meat grinder.
It's a cow carrying 2 buns around.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back in a couple weeks, probably if we're not too busy crunching on the current expansion. If you have any questions, email us frontseatquestions@gmail.com, or you can tweet at us at frontseatcast, facebook.com/frontseatcast. You can contact us there. We always post stuff, and by we I mean Saveun and Blake.
Pretty active.
I
on
do
there.
read it though, and occasionally I'll comment.
Yeah, you do like some things.
I do, yeah.
You do hit that like
I'm not a
button.
Facebook poster.
Right.
It's not my thing. It's not my jive. And our website, frontseatgamer.wordpress.com. Tell your friends. If you've told a friend, tell us.
Yeah.
Yeah, how about
Yeah.
that? All right, we'll be back in a couple weeks.
See ya.
Bye.
That Mistborn, I would add to that. Mistborn one was so long.
Yeah, you started talking, I was like, uh-oh. He's starting with, like, the orientation. So, Mistborn. Picture a vista.
Imagine a world.
A mountain rises in the background. You, a sullen young woman, ride in on a tired horse. Greet her at the gates.